Siman Chaf Beis. The Mechaber says like this: Kana talis, if you buy a beged, also be tzitzis, and then you hang tzitzis on the corners. Mevarach shechiyanu. You make a shechiyanu. Now why? So you're not making a shechiyanu because you're mekayim the mitzvah for the first time, because the Mishnah Berurah points out in Beis, ein mevarach shechiyanu ala mitzvah kiven de'ina ba mizman lezman. We only make shechiyanus on mitzvahs that are set times, like Yom Tovim v'chulei. So tzitzis that are done regularly, you don't make a bracha on. By the way, just agav, there's a shaila in the Rishonim. The Bir Halach is alluding to it. He quotes the Rekeich. It's a shaila in the Rishonim. What about if I do a mitzvah for the first time in my life? It's a mitzvah that's a regular mitzvah. I've never done it before. The classic example would be a bar mitzvah boy, and you also have with women that are Isaac and Hadlakas Neris, the first time that they're doing it. So it's a mitzvah that's done generally, but it's the first time they're doing it. So it's a shaila in the Rishonim whether shechiyanu is performed. But the Mishnah Berurah is assuming that we do not make a shechiyanu on the asiyas mitzvah. So the point is, mitzvah shechiyanu, you're not going to make a mitzvah asiyas mitzvah. But a talis is a beged. And the same way, if you buy a new suit, you make a shechiyanu, so a talis is no different. So says the Mechaber, Adarabba, the implication that a lot of poskim medayek from the Mechaber is that he holds that on a bracha for the first time, a mitzvah for the first time you don't, is because he says dafka because it's a beged. Forget about the fact, you should just say that you never did the mitzvah before. So says the Mechaber, kana talis v'asa b'tzitzis mevarach shechiyanu, deloy garma kelim chadashim. It's no different than buying a new car or a new kelim. It's interesting, the Mechaber sort of looks at it as it's considered a new kli and a new beged. So when do you do it? Ve'im loy birich b'shas asiyah mevarach b'shas itafarishin. You should make it when you make the tzitzis, you make the bracha, and the Ramah says if you didn't, then you can make it b'shas levisha. The Mishnah Berurah discusses why is it normally when you buy a new kli, on the purchase you make the shechiyanu. You buy a new car, you make it on the purchase. A beged is a little bit different. A beged it has to be when it's roy lilboish. So if I buy dalid kanfis and then I put tzitzis on it, it's not roy b'shas kinyan. And therefore, only when you wear it for the first time, then you make a bracha. Agav, the poskim say that when you buy a new beged, assuming you make let's say a new suit, and you have to do it the first time you wear it. The second time, it's already too late. It's not. That's the Shulchan Aruch Rav Paskin, so it'll be negeh for talis as well. The Mishnah Berurah points out also it's only because it's a new beged. If you buy new strings for your old beged, then there will be no shechiyanu. Siman Chaf Gimel. I want to try to finish tzitzis today, especially because I missed yesterday. The Mechaber says, Dinei tzitzis bebeis hakvaris. Mutali kanes bebeis hakvaris. You're allowed to enter into a beis hakvaris. V'u lavish tzitzis while wearing tzitzis. V'u shalei nigra la hakvaris. But they should not be dragging on the graves. Now it happens to be from this lashon, it kind of sounds like they could be sticking out. They just can't be dragging on the graves. I think the minig amongst everyone is to tuck him in. Although by the oil, it's all out. But it might be a little different. Anyway, avol imhu nigral akvaris. But if it's actually dragging on the graves, then it's aser mishum loy glarash, because it's considered disrespectful to those that passed away that you're shoving in their face that they're not able to do the mitzvah anymore. Now, when are you allowed to wear tzitzis? L'chora, according to this, it means you can wear a talis. I've never seen a person with a talis in a beis hakvaris. So it says in the Mechaber, no. B'meihem sheyimatilim tzitzis b'malbush shaloivshim l'tzarech atzmam. That was back then where they used to wear like some sort of shawl or whatever robe, and they would put the tzitzis on. They would wear dalit kanfis. So or us talis katan, but a talis gadol, which is a beged that's only worn for the tzarech HaMitzvah, that we don't wear in a beis hakvaris, because the etzem beged itself is throwing it in their face. It says in Mechaber, even if they're not dragging, you cannot wear a talis gadol in a beis hakvaris. Now, if you tuck in the tzitzis, then it's fine. The actual beged is not, but a beged with the tzitzis out, even if it's not dragging on the floor, the talis gadol is a problem. It says the Mechaber in Beis, Yesh noigim likshar shnei tzitiyah shebeshnei knofim zeh im zeh kishenechnasim lebeis hakvaris v'lehilu klum taknasim. Some people take the two front of the talis gadol and they sort of wrap it around like a snake, and he says it doesn't do anything because it's still revealed. So it's lehilu klum taknasim. It doesn't accomplish anything. It says the Mechaber in Gimel, Hanichnas toich dalid amishal meis oishal kever dina kenichas beis hakvaris. The same isser of going into a cemetery with a talis. It's not just a cemetery within dalid amis of a grave or a dead body. So if you're by a levaya, if you're going mamish that close, you'd have to tuck it in, or a random grave, even if it's not a beis hakvaris, within dalid amis is going to be an issue. B'makom shenoigim lahaser tzitzis metalis hameis bebayis. Im haksafim loiv shem tzitzis ikal mecher shusham loig l'rosh. So, and the people that are carrying should not be wearing a talis because, again, it's the same issue. Now, two things. First of all, just one quick point. It's interesting. Mishnah Berurah, and then I'll get to you in a second. Mishnah Berurah in Hay says, "Afilu bekever shel katan yesh lahachmer b'sham loig l'rosh." You should not. A katan is not mechuyev anyway. The shema nishmas adam gadolhu, because maybe it was the neshama of an adam gadol. So he was a child, but he had the neshama of a gadol. So, and his neshama is by the kever, and that neshama wanted to wear tzitzis. Av the kever isha the bechaya gam kim petur lekem shom loig. That means an isha there's no problem. By the way, so I saw Rav Yaakov Hillel as a tshuva in his newest volume. So he says, does that mean that women are not gilgulim of men? Meaning, a katan is a problem because it might be a gilgul of a gadol, but a woman is fine because they were never mitzvah. So that answers kever rachel. But what about the fact that she might have been a man's neshama? So he says it's possible, but it's so infrequent you don't have to be choshesh la'alacha. That's what he says. So one last. The question is, what about tzaddikim? So tzaddikim, I've never seen much of a difference. Now, if you look at loig l'rosh as it makes them feel bad, they're not going to feel bad because they're tzaddikim yisraelim. But I think it's more for you. You can't do something that's considered insensitive, and therefore, even by adam gadol, it will be a problem as well. The reason why they do it is because I assume the cheshbon is by kever rachel, marsamach pelo, all these things. Now, kever rachel is different from a woman, but I'm assuming it's because you're not really within dalit am. You don't really know what the actual kever is. It's a large thing on top. By the way, the Isser of Loig L'Rosh is why you're not allowed to daven by a kever either, like daven shachris. That's for sure not done. That's not done. Tehillim is okay because it's liula in shmasam, but like the daven actually shachris, they do it by the Rambam, but usually you're supposed to go to the side, not mamish by the kever. Within Dalad Amas of a kever, we don't daven. Let's just finish up the Hilchos Tzitzis. Simul Chav Dalid. Im ein adam loivish talis basar bekamfis. If a person chooses not to wear a four-cornered beged, in chayv b'tzitzis, you're not chayv in tzitzis. But v'toy v'noch, meaning if I'm not wearing a dalit kamfis, I'm not mechuyev. So technically, I can go my whole life without ever wearing tzitzis or a talis gadol. V'noch and liyas kol adam zar lilbash talis katan kol hayoyim. But a person should be makbid to wear a talis katan kadesh yizkar hamitzvah b'chol rega, so that you remember the mitzvah. V'al karchach yesh by, meaning, besides the fact that Mekayim mitzvah, but I could choose not to Mekayim mitzvah. Yeah, but this mitzvah will also help you remember all mitzvahs. Why? Because tzitzis is going to 600. Yesh chamisha ksharim, kenegehei chamisha chumshei Torah. You have the 5 knots on each corner which correspond to the chamisha chumshei Torah. Arba knofim shebechol tzad sheyifne yizkar, and it's on every corner. So you think of the chamisha chumshei Torah on every direction. And by the way, also the famous one from Rashi that is 600, and then 8 strings and 5 knots is 613. V'nachal lubash alma abushim, and that's why the Mechaber says you should wear it on top. So the Mechaber Shita is that you wear the tzitzis on top of the begadim. The Arizal held to wear it covered. It's interesting. The Svardim and Chassidim exact opposite. The Chassidim hold like the Arizal, like the Shulchan Aruch, that they cover uncovered, and the Svardim hold like the Arizal to have entirely covered. Anyway, Lepachas Yizar She'alovish tzitzis b'shas tefillah, but bekitzer you should definitely wear tzitzis b'shas tefillah l'chol hapachas. Says the Mishnah Berurah b'shas tefillah, the Kriya Shema and Kriya Shema as well. The Issa b'Zoyer. That if you say Shema without wearing tzitzis, mayud eid shekem ba'atzmai. You're testifying falsely about yourself. Shekari parshat tzitzis in Mekayim. Because you're saying the parshat tzitzis, you're not wearing it. Kasav chayadam loy tayvaysim hamoy namshem espal mederach b'lei talis gadol. V'api roy v'talis katan ein asa kedin b'chol pratav. She roy lo v'archalav. V'gam yoshim b'belayla. Apparently in the times of the chayadim, people were davening without a talis gadol, and he says that that's not appropriate. Just to finish up the Siman, the Mechaber says in Beis, mitzvah lechas atzitzis biyad smolis keneged liba b'shas kriya shema remez adav v'hayit v'me'ela alav avecha. There's an Indian a mitzvah to hold the front two connected your heart when you're wearing tzitzis. By the way, notice he says the front two. That was the minhag of the groves, dafka the front two, but the minhag of Arizal is all 4. The Mishnah Berurah says biad smolis on the left side. Kasa b'kisvei arisha yachsam ben kamitza lezeres, that you should wear it between the pinky and the ring finger. K'shegila parshat tzitzis, that's how you start Shema. Then when you get to tzitzis, yikochem v'gam b'yad yamin, you sort of put it in the palm of your hand and now hold it with your right hand as well. V'yab behem v'yabiyodei ad shemegil and emanim v'nechmadim la'ad until v'yatziv v'az yanakashitz v'yadim, then you give it a kiss and then you drop it. Alav avecha, and the heart is on the left side. And this also protects someone from averus. Okay. The Gemara, the Mechaber says in Gimel, Toiv l'staka b'tzitzis b'shas atifa k'shemevarech. You should look at the tzitzis when you put it on to make a bracha. The Mechaber says in Dalet, Yesh noigim l'staka b'tzitzis k'shemagiyim l'risa moso. Some have the minig to look at the tzitzis when they get to Reisam also, v'litain osam al ha'inayim, and to put them on top of the eyes. Uminig yafahu. It's a nice minig v'chavu v'amitzvah. It shows chavivas hamitzvah. Gam noigim k'tzas l'nashik tzitzis b'shasha roya behem. Sha'kol hu chiv mitzvah. And some have a minig even to kiss it. And again, it's b'shem chivav hamitzvah. The Mishnah Berurah says al einayim nimtza b'shem hakadmoinim shekol hamaver tzitzis al einav k'shekor parshas tzitzis yeh muftach shelo yavli de simo einayim. There's a kabbalah from the kadmoinim that if you put it on your eyes, you will not become blind. Hasuma yesh lechaz atzitzis biyada b'shas kriyish ma'af b'shem reisam also kim sheyesh b'ri. But a blind person should taka still continue holding it. Just to finish up, the Mechaber says in Hey kishem mistaka b'tzitzis. When you're looking at the tzitzis during Shema, mistaka b'shnei tzitzis shalafanav. The ikar is to look at the front two in front of you. Sheyesh b'hem asara ksharim remez lahaviyos. It has the 10 knots, which correspond to the 10 spheres. V'gam yesh b'hem tez zayin chutim. And they also 16 strings, 10 knots, 16 strings. It's 26 is a Shem Havaya. And Vav, Godal Oynish Mevatel Mitzvah Tzitzis, someone who's Mevatel Mitzvah Tzitzis, a big Avera, Vol of Nemer Lecha is Beknafis Aretz, and you're holding on to the end of the earth, and it goes down into the Gehenna. Hazar B'Mitzvah Tzitzis, but someone who's careful Tzitzis, Zoicha V'Roya Pnei Shchina, will be Zoicha to see the Shchina. Let's just finish up the Mishnah Berurah. Mitzvah Lasis Talis Na, V'Tzitzis Na, you should have a nice talis, a nice tzitzis. Well, then call Mitzvah Sarach Lasais and Behider. Chol Madavshar, all mitzvahs you should do as beautiful as you can. Zek Keli Vaveyu, he's not love mitzvahs. I will also lurkam psukim shel Torah betalis, but you should not have psukim on the talis, because they might fall on the floor, you might throw it out, you might bring it to the bathroom. In kvar nirka mutal levarich alav. People sometimes do this, but it's something you should be careful not to have. Some people have the bracha on it. It shouldn't have any words on the talis itself. So.